Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. I hope you're doing well there. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great. Appreciate you stopping by. I want to get into some Heat talk here as I got a couple things, rando things that have been kind of circling the ether. One of them appears from a video that I saw on Heat Reddit. I also saw Heat vs. Haters tweet out. Apparently was taken down off Nuggets Reddit, but it appears that we have more international slapping. In the Americas, we have spitting. You know, we got Suarez spitting, we got Florida Gators spitting, we have Jalen Carter spitting. And then in Eurobasket, we got Giannis slapping teammates. And it appears we have the Joker slapping Nikola Jović, dude. And I don't know what to make of it. It's kind of from a faraway angle. I can't tell if they're joshing, if they're just goofing off. It looks like Nico tried to like do a little butt kick after him. Maybe there was some antics. I mean, mind you, Nico is very young. He is the young guy on the team. There is probably a big-time little brother treatment with him, almost like a Mario Chalmers, if you will, with the big three. So, I don't know. I do know that Nico, listening to his comments, because he actually did his press conference, and they do the press conferences in English, I guess, at Eurobasket. He he was very accountable for the loss. I guess there were some rumors about Pesic getting fired. I don't know. I think that the Serbian team denied those. I've been very caught up with the Dolphins, so I apologize. My Eurobasket has not been as on point as it should be, although I am looking forward to Finland and Slovenia in their matchups tomorrow, and seeing a little Slim Jesus and Lauri Markkanen. I think I'm going for Finland now just because they beat Serbia, and I love the Panthers. So I got an affinity for Finland, so I'm going to root for Finland. But yeah, I don't know what to make of this. I don't really think it's a big deal, to be honest with you. I don't think this is a huge deal either way when it comes to Jović and Jokić having a little slap contest there. Apparently, the Miami Heat are interested in Roman Sorkin, who's a 29-year-old power forward center for Israel. He had a really big Eurobasket, and there's some rumblings that the Heat are interested in him. There are some interesting things out there with that last roster spot. I saw a report from Mark Stein that Bernie Lee dropped Ben Simmons as a client, apparently, after the whole Knicks deal fell through. And I always felt that was an odd pairing, just because, like, the report is Ben Simmons' agent Bernie Lee dropped him as a client after Simmons wasn't interested in his only contract offer from the Knicks. And I think I do know. I mean, like, look, Ben Simmons and Tyler Hero have worked out together. He is 6'10". I don't know how much Ben Simmons, has left in the tank. I would venture not much. But this is a place I believe he works out often in the offseason. Would he take a veteran minimum deal for the Miami Heat? Would that tickle their fancy? People have said, hey, the Heat need a true point guard. I feel this is stupid. I feel like anybody will talk themselves into Ben Simmons like they're going to fix Ben Simmons. I don't think anybody can fix Ben Simmons. Now, that being said, the Heat are probably now going to go get Ben Simmons. But certainly him not having Bernie Lee as an agent, I would think that very much would open up the possibilities. When Heat fans were bringing this up when Bernie was his agent, I'm like, there is no shot that's happened. Like, Bernie Lee, I would imagine, a very pleasant man, nice dude, but I gotta feel like he's gonna be in like the Rich Paul timeout phase. Like, we just need a break for a little bit, right? Like, how long did it take for the Heat to get a clutch client when the whole LeBron fiasco happened? This is, I feel like, where it's going to be at. And Bernie is not like as big as Clutch is, so I feel like they are good with just avoiding that. Like, who can't we have Chris Dunn for a while? We'll be all right. So do with that what you will. But the Heat have their own things with the point guard. Ira Winderman had a report yesterday on Precious Achiuwa and talked about the buyout possibilities with Terry Rozier. We talked a little bit about this, but he said that there had been discussions with Rozier on a buyout, but those talks have not gained traction with any outside options, the veteran guard at the moment. Rozier remains linked in the federal gambling probe. Look, the thing with Rozier getting a buyout, and this is the big question, when people do buyouts, You're giving money back because you're going to have another opportunity to make good on it or be made whole and be in maybe a more happy basketball place. And you got to ask yourself with Terry Rozier and the way that his last couple of years have gone, is there any place he can really be made whole, or is he better off just holding out and getting the whole 26 point whatever million? And I got to feel like that's probably where he's at, unless he truly feels like if he took a haircut, somebody would give him a minimum and he can go maybe ball out for a contender that would take him on the cheap skis. We talked about the Lakers in the Andrew Wiggins video. Could there be something like that where he could just latch on to another team and, he has a great playoffs and then boom, all of a sudden you're getting a multiple year offer for 11 a year? Is there something that maybe? But it's not like the Bradley Beal thing where Bradley Beal, like, oh, Bradley Beal left the Suns, but we know that he had a make good when it came to the Clippers. So do with that what you will. His guy, though, who these guys were Wizards killers last year, he and Jaime Jaquez Jr. It's an interesting comment. I'm going to play this for you guys. This was on the Hoops Collective podcast with Brian Windhorst. And Windhorst, yes, very, is a guy who is certainly has been plugged in, but is not like always known as having like the biggest Heat sources in the world. The Heat always say like they don't have sources, whatever. But he had an interesting comment on that wasn't surprising, but the way he described it, I thought was like, oh, I haven't heard really anybody say that about this player. And so just take it for what it is. But this was in regards to Jaime Jaquez Jr., and he was referring to the Heat not being pleased with his demeanor.
Really like the upside of Kel'el Ware, who had a very good second half of his rookie season. They made him off limits in various trade talks. And then they have sort of the perplexing case of Jaime Jaquez, who had an excellent rookie year and a big-time sophomore slump, where I think the Heat were not thrilled with his overall demeanor after his success after his rookie years.
So I heard that. I was like, oh, I'm not thrilled with his demeanor. I was like, because that makes me like when you say that, it kind of makes me feel like the Heat weren't. When you say demeanor, all right, I feel like what you're saying is you don't love the way that he handled the success of his rookie year. Almost like, oh, didn't work hard enough, didn't, handle the successes of being, this rookie that bursts on the scene. You get a lot of flowers thrown your way. You're going to be the face of the Mexico City game. I don't know. I found it to be a pretty interesting comment from Windhorst because I hadn't heard anybody say that. Now, have I had my own suspicions about what the hell happened with Jaime Jaquez Jr.? For sure, because it's unexplainable. Like, you looked at him last year, and I know that the smartasses will say, oh, he's an older player who was an above-average college player, came into the league, he was figured out. He was to it. Like, the cute little footsie spin move thingy, cool story, bro. You're figured out. Like, you're not getting back to it. But I genuinely think that Jaime looked lost last year. I do think that there's meat on the bone to figure out that mystery. When Windhorst says it's perplexing, it is perplexing. Now, I will say, to not, make it seem like Jaime was lazy. I don't want that to be the case here. We're just talking things out. We're figuring things out. Eric Spoelstra did say this year when at Summer League, and he was talking about Jaime Jaquez Jr., and he was talking about like Jaime is the workout fiend on the team. Surely enough, by the way, you saw Adam Sandler was in the building, working, playing a little ball. He's playing with Jaime, playing with Kel'el. But he had said like he wants him to get back to who he is. But he also made it clear, like, hey, he wants him to clear his mind. We know Jaime's been working with a mental coach. Maybe that's helped a little bit. Maybe that's helped with, I don't know, focus. I don't know. I'm definitely reaching into 30 seconds of a podcast too much. Certainly September 9th. But I am, because I think we're so interested. I'm just interested in this case. Like, what the hell happened here? And so when Windhorst says, oh, the Heat, if his reporting or if his inclination is accurate from wherever he heard that the Heat didn't love his demeanor, how he was going about, and I go that by like how he's going about his business. That's how I'm taking it. Because it's either that or they just felt he was sulking too much. Like it's one or the other. And either one is not great. Like either he got too down on himself, which could have happened with his slump, or they don't love how he went about his business. Now, Spo made the point in July that, Jaime's working out 2-3 times a day. Like he's working out like a demon. He's worked out a lot in LA. Now he's in Miami. So he may be at the spot where, hey, I maybe didn't handle that, and now I'm going to be coming for what is going to be a very important year for Jaime. Like, if Jaime did go, let's just say he did, okay? No judgment. It happens to anybody. People have down years, especially sophomores, going into their second year. If he did, well, here's the thing with the Heat. You do that, you could be cooked. Because I think the Heat are already smitten with the new Jaime, and it's Pella, who they also talked about on the podcast. They gave him his flowers for Sweden. And Pella defends better than Jaime. He does all that cutting stuff that Jaime did, scoring without the basketball. Just a little bit more of an energy effort dude. Doesn't need the ball necessarily in his hands, though he's had the ball in his hands a lot this summer. The same thing that they both have is they're both not great shooters, but I would say Pella's a more capable shooter than Jaime is. I think like you saw Jaime Jaquez like stress out about shooting last year. I don't think that's going to happen with Pella because I don't think he's going to do it very often. I think he's going to take open shots when they're there, but this dude knows, I think, what his role is. And I think that's the thing that the Heat dig about both of the Arizona guys. Like Jaime was a big time player on UCLA. The thing that's interesting with Jaime is that the thing that's with Pella, as opposed to Jaime, big time player for UCLA. Pella was a role player for Arizona. So like this is not new to him to go do the right things. I know people are like talking about his ceiling and like where it's at. And you know me, I love throwing a big ceiling on somebody. And I've said, like, I don't think I need a big ceiling with Pella Larsson. If Pella Larsson becomes the Heat's TJ McConnell, like I'm going to be thrilled. I saw a great clip today, a great interview. Let me get the credit. I want to give credit to the interview because it was a clip from a couple days ago. It was Keyshawn Johnson on a guy's podcast. Zach Shoemaker, the Shoes Show. And Keyshawn Johnson was talking about the guys he wants to emulate his game after. And he was talking like, I want to be Josh Hart, PJ Tucker, Shane Battier, Derek Jones Jr. I'm just like, oh man, like this dude's already like, you definitely can tell that Keyshawn Johnson's already gotten the UD speech, right? He's gotten the Chris Quinn, Caron Butler, hey, know your role, star in your role. And I just think with Jaime, what's the role, right? Like that's the thing with him. Demeanor, work ethic, whatever. I think if his work ethic's through the roof, great. If the mind is right, great. All right, then what's the role for Jaime Jaquez this year? And that's the thing that's tough is like we've already talked like the Heat, what they have an abundance of and what they don't have enough of. And he's just at this weird crossroads with it. Like, where do they go? He's not a big. He's kind of he's a 2-3. He likes to play like Jimmy Butler. He likes to have the ball in his hands, get that footwork going. But we saw a lot more in his rookie year of like going be able to just make the easy play, the right play, and played within himself. And then I just felt like last year he just tried to do so much he looked last year like he was just trying to fill the holes of things that he's not instead of grow the things that he's great at. And I just think that with Pella, it was the opposite. Now, maybe Pella gets overwhelmed by that this year and he tries to do too much. I don't know. But I am very curious to see where does he go from here and how is that going to go for him this year. So, yeah, it was an interesting comment. It was an interesting comment to note from Windhorst about how the Heat maybe perceived. We'll do that. Maybe perceived. I don't like to call anything a report. It's not a report. Windhorst is just saying something that he heard that it's a nugget. It's interesting. And I think it's not too surprising. Why would they be happy with his demeanor? He stunk last year. So now you're hopeful that he's got his demeanor right and he's awesome this year. He gets back to the guy that we all saw be a first team rookie. That's what you're hoping for in a case like this. And that he can get back to to what he was. That was a sensation right off the bat when everybody was like, oh, this guy's one of the steals of the draft. Heat did it again. It would be awesome there's not a Heat fan alive that shouldn't want that. We all want that. We all want to see Jaime Jaquez flourish. And because that would be absolutely huge. It's just a question of, all right, does he have another pitch? Does he have something else to go to? Does he have something to grow from? And is there a role for him this year? That's the other thing. Now injuries happen. Two twisted Pelle Larsson and Andrew Wiggins twisted ankle away or a cramp, and somebody's got he had the bubble guts last year and it opened up opportunities. Somebody else gets the bubble gut. He does have to get it under control though. We all heard the draft night story too, like with Jaime. Like I was like, hey, dude, he's got to get a grip on these tummy issues. So get a grip on that, but somebody else could get a stomach issue, and then bam, he's back flourishing, and we're like, oh yeah, there's that guy. So very, very interesting to see what that's going to be this year.